this tutorial, we'll be following actual radio transmissions between the USS Ronald Reagan, an aircraft returning to the carrier after a simulated strike mission over the western coast of the United States. We'll be following two aircraft 3001 and 300. I'll explain the transmissions of the Marshall, approach, and paddles controller. To begin this tutorial, place your aircraft at Point Mugu, California Naval Air Station. Identifier Kilo November Tango Delta. Take off, climb to 15,000 feet on a heading of approximately 270 to reach check-in position of 330 Radio Freedom 62. To place the carrier for utilization in this video, once in the cockpit, pause the sim. Select Map from the upper taskbar. Scroll down till you're in the area of 3510 north, 119.15 west. Now if you have the intersection icon highlighted in green on the taskbar, you'll see a small green triangle at that approximate position. If you put your cursor over it, you'll see that that is Tamay intersection. That's where we'll be placing the carrier. Tamay intersection. Click on the TP button, upper right hand corner of the map. Place your cursor at that intersection and left click. Then choose Add Carrier from the drop down. Choose Nimitz Crowded Deck 2. Make sure you're on Team 0 and your point defense is disabled. Choose heading 000 north. Speed 25 knots. Check to make sure that your ILS is on 1119 or 5. The TACAN is on 57X. Then click OK in the carrier box. Not on the map, on the carrier box. You've just placed the carrier in the position. TACAN set, course and speed set. Once airborne and you have your TACAN and ILS frequency set, put your cursor on your HSI, right click it twice till you see the course line appear. Make sure your scale is at 80 miles. Roll your mouse wheel until you can set your cursor course line at 150. Intercept that course line at 62 miles to begin the tutorial.
Marshall 301 and 300 checking in, marking near 330 for 62, low stage 65.
301 Freedom Marshall, Case III recovery, CV1 approach, expected final bearing 331, altimeter 3001. 301 Marshall 170, 24 Angels 9er. Expected approach time 33, approach button 17, time 18.
301 marshalling 170, 24 Angels 9. Expected approach time 33, button 17.
301 read back correct, block 7144.
7144.
300 Marshall 170, 25 Angels 10. Expected approach time 34, approach button 15.
300 Marshall 170, 25 Angels 10, push time 34, button 15.
300 read back correct, clock 7145.
You will hear 3001 holding hands with 300, checking in. They're on the 330 radio of Freedom at 62 miles. We'll put the low state of the two aircraft at 625,000 pounds. Marshall will reply stating there will be a Case III recovery, approach CV1 approach plate will be used. The final bearing is expected to be 331 and the altimeter is 30.01. They are instructed to marshal on the 170 radio at 24 miles, 9,000 feet. Expected approach clearance time is at 3:3. Current time is 18 on channel 17. They're also directed to squawk 7144. That is mode 3 IFF. These instructions are for aircraft 301. We'll pick up a heading of approximately 170 from our initial check-in point to our marshal point and fly point to point direct. Upon reaching the marshal point, we'll enter holding if we reach there prior to being cleared for the approach. Make sure you have a little box up in the upper left-hand corner of that TACAN button to ensure that your TACAN is on.
One safe state.
813.
300 safe state.
815.
Two safe state. 502 safe state.
9.5.
Roger 9.5. 402 safe state. 404 safe state.
80.
Time in 15 seconds, 26. 99, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Time 26.
Marshal 207.
207, Freedom Marshal.
207, holding hands with a 205, a low state 88, like 205 to go first.
205, Freedom Marshal, case 3 recovery, CV1 approach, expected final bearing 331, altimeter 3001. 205, Marshal, 17026, Angels 11, expected approach time 35, approach button 17, time 19er.
205, Marshal, 17026, Angels 11, EAT at 35, button 17.
205, read back correct. 207, Marshal, 17027, Angels 12, expected approach time 37, approach button 15.
207, Marshal, 17027, Angels 12, time 37, button 15.
207, read back correct, squawk 7150.
7150.
And 205, squawk 7146.
7146, 205.
Prior to reaching our marshal point, we should have become completely familiar with the approach plate that we'll be using, the CV1 approach. There are several different approaches that the carrier could be assigning for the approach and landing. They have instructed us to use CV1. This slide shows the Case 3 CV1 approach that will be used if we lose communications or lose radar contact with the carrier. Number 1 is the final bearing. In this case, we anticipate it to be 331. Number 2, the initial approach fix, will be our Marshall point. Number 3, the altitude we must be at 10 miles, 1,200 feet. Number 4, the missed approach procedure. Number 5, the altitudes for the different approaches, either AS or TACAN, if we have not picked up the ILS or CILS or radar contact is not directing us. Number 6, the minimums we can descend down to as a jet, 360 feet MSL or AGL. Number 7 is a category CILS approach. Number 8, if we have radar available. Number 9, for the different types of approaches, SAR, surveillance radar, or number 10, TACAN only, straight-in approach. These minimums are 600 feet MSL/AGL and 1 1/4 miles.
Marshall 17022 Angels Niner. Expected approach time 31, approach button 17. 301, read back correct. 300 Marshall 17023 Angels 10. Expected approach time 32, approach button 15.
As directed by Marshall, we'll descend down to 9,000 feet to prepare for the approach. On entering holding, you want to vary your legs and turns so that you reach your Marshall point as close to your approach time of 3-1 as possible.
205, Roger, Angels 11, 7.9. 207, Roger, Angels 12, 8.5.
At 3-1, at your Marshall point, report to Marshall that you are commencing the approach.
Final rear 7 miles.
6 miles. St. Needles.
Fuel low. Fuel low.
Miles. 205 ready to contact 4 miles. Flight was I have azimuth on Hunter Bearing 337. Miles. Battle contact. Johnson, line, call the ball. Call the ball. Roger, ball. Don't settle.
Once on the deck, in the wire, raise the tail hook and turn off all external lights. Taxi clear of the landing area. Follow the directions of the yellow shirts.